So here is a review for our upcoming test on the first half of Chapter 5. So the first thing that we have to take a look at is evaluating algebraic expressions. So basically you're going to have questions like this. Say 2d plus 9, and they're going to tell you, what the letter equals. So maybe d equals, say if d equals 8. And what you're going to do is you're going to rewrite this question, and you're going to substitute the number in for the letter, and then you're going to solve. And you do order of operations, PEMDAS, parentheses comes first, so you have 8 plus 9, which equals 17. So now we have 2 times 17, and 2 times 17 is equal to 34. So let's go ahead and try the following questions. Let's see. Alright, so there's some questions for you. So go ahead and pause the video, write down these questions, try to work them out, and then press play, and we'll check out the solutions. Alright, so here we go. So this first one, we have d divided by 4. Now d we know is 8, so we're going to rewrite this as 8 divided by 4, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. There is our answer. For this next one, the way we read this is e times f divided by 4. Remember, anytime something touches a letter, it's multiplication. So when we rewrite this, since e is equal to 3 and f equals 4, you don't write 34. This is e times f, so this would be 3 times 4. Have to be really careful about that. It's a common mistake. So now, 3 times 4 is 12. We're dividing by 4, and 12 divided by 4 equals 3. There we go. Alright, now this one right here, this is 4 times f plus d. Remember, you're doing your multiplication before addition, so first we're going to rewrite it as 4 times f, and f is 4, plus d, and our d is equal to 8. So 4 times 4 is 16. Now we have 16 plus 8, and 16 plus 8 is going to equal 24. For this one right here, we have 5 times d minus 25, and then all of that is divided by 5. So first we have 5 times d, and d was equal to 8, minus 25, all that divided by 5. Well, 5 times 8 is going to be 40, so we have 40 minus 25 divided by 5. And 40 minus 25 is going to be 15, so we have 15 divided by 5, and 15 divided by 5 is going to equal 3. So there's our answer for that one. Now for this one right here, d squared plus 7. Again, d is equal to 8, so we're going to rewrite this as 8 squared plus 7. And remember, the exponent just tells you how many times to write the base in a multiplication problem. So this x squared means write 8 twice in a multiplication problem. So we have 8 times 8, and we're going to add 7 to that product. 8 times 8 is 64, so now we have 64 plus 7, and 64 plus 7 is going to equal 71. So that's it for Chapter 5, Section 1. Let's go on to the next part. Okay, so the next part we have are sequences. This is Chapter 5, Section 2. And for sequences, we're going to give you a set of numbers, and we're going to want you to write down what's happening with the change, how the change is occurring, and what the next couple terms are. Now, what we're doing is arithmetic sequences, so they're going to be pretty straightforward. Let's see, an example is, let's say we have 0, 9, 18, 27. And I want to know what's happening with this arithmetic sequence, and what are the next two terms. Well, when we go from 0 to 9, and 9 to 8, and 18 to 27, each time we're increasing by 9. So for what's happening here, we would say 9 is added to the previous, I'm going to abbreviate that, term. And if I wanted to find out the next two, all I would do is just add 9 to this, and 27 plus 9 is 36. And then I would add 9 to this, and 36 plus 9 is 45. So let me put up here 2 problems for you to try out for that. Okay, so here we have two problems. Go ahead and pause the video and then work these two out. I want you to find the next two terms and also come up with a sentence for what's happening here. So pause the video, do this, and then press play when you're ready. Alright, so for the first one, we can see clearly that we're going up by 7s, but just in case you couldn't see that clearly, the way you would figure it out is take the second number here, the second term, 7, and just subtract the one below it. And you'll see the difference is 7. Same thing here, 14 minus 7 is 7. 21 minus 14 is 7. So you can see it's going up by 7 each time. So we're going to write 7 is added to the previous term. And for the next two terms, 21 plus 7 is going to be 28. And 28 plus 7 is going to be 35. That's our answer for this one. For this one right here, same thing. From 0.1 to 0.4, we have a difference of 0.3. Again, if you couldn't see that, you would take 0.4, subtract 0.1 in your calculator or on paper. Same thing here, same thing here. So for our sentence, it's going to be just like this, just with different numbers. 0.3 is added to the previous term. And our next numbers, we're just going to add 0.3. So 1.0 plus 0.3 is going to be 1.3. And 1.3 plus 0.3 is going to be 1.6. Now, the only other questions that I would ask you on this is, I might say something like, what is the 50th term, or 100th term, or 38th term? And you could keep carrying on with this and just adding 7 all the way along, or you could use a shortcut. Now, remember, the shortcut to find out what the nth term value is going to be is you simply take that number, whatever that term is, the nth term, and you multiply it by what this is going up by. So in this case, this was going up by 7, so you would say 7n. That would be the algebraic expression. So let's say I said, what is the, I don't know, what's the 30th term? You would throw in there 30, and we would say 7 times 30, and that would equal 7 times 30, 210. Let's take a look up here. If I said, what is the 52nd term? You would do, in this case, it's 9 times n. Here it was 7 times n because it's going up by 7. 9 times n. And I think I said 52nd. So you would do 9 times 52. And when we multiply that out, we end up with 18, carrier 1, 9, 5, 46, yay, 468. So now let's take a look at the next section. Alright, so this section is the distributive property, and distributive property, what you do is essentially you have something outside of parentheses, and then you have something inside the parentheses, and you're going to distribute this via multiplication. Essentially this is 4 times the quantity of x plus 7. We don't know what that quantity is because we don't know what x equals. So the way we do this, I strongly recommend this. Draw arrows. They can be curved or straight. It doesn't matter. You're going to multiply this by the first term. So here we have 4 times x. Since I don't know what x is, I just write 4x. Bring down the operation. In this case, it was a plus. And next, 4 times 7, that's going to be 28. And that's our answer. That's it. Now, these can get a little bit more complicated, and we're going to go through a bunch of examples on this. So let me put some example problems up here for you to try, see how you do. Alright, so here's 3 problems in increasing difficulty. So go ahead and pause the video, write them down, try and do your best, and let's see how we do. Alright, so this first one. First thing you have is 6 times p, so we write 6p. The operation is subtraction. Next thing we have is 6 times 5, and that's 30. Notice it's not 6 times negative 5. This subtraction symbol is brought down. It's right there. So this is 6 times positive p minus 6 times positive 5. This one right here, we've got negative 2 times x. The operation right here is the operation here is subtraction. And now we have negative 2 times a positive 8. Signs are different, so it's negative. I'll need parentheses there to separate these. And 2 times 8 is 16. And yes, you do need the parentheses. You can't just write minus negative. You need that to differentiate. Now, I've got 5 times negative 3x plus 2y. So first thing I have is this 5 times this negative 3x. So signs are different here, so it's negative. 5 times 3 is 15, and the x is the x. Bring down this plus. Now I have 5 times this positive 2y. And if it helps you to draw the arrows and to draw the circles like I'm doing here, go for it. 5 times 2 is 10, and we have the letter y at the end. So there's our answer for that. So now let me put up another set of practice problems, and let's see how we do on that. Okay, go ahead and write those down, see how you do, press pause, and then unpause it when you're ready. Alright, so here we go. We've got 3 times a negative r, different signs, so it's negative, the number's 3, and the letters r. Bring down my plus. Now we've got 3 times positive 2, and that's going to be positive 6. Here we've got 4 times x, that's going to be 4x. Bring down the operation. And now I've got 4 times 2a. Signs are the same, so it's positive. 4 times 2 is 8, and the letter is a. So now let me give you the next version of this. Alright, so this one isn't too bad as long as you follow the steps. What you're going to do is take this 3a, multiply it by the terms, and bring down the operation. So first thing we have is 3a times 2b. So first look at the numbers. I have a 3 times a 2, that's a 6. And look at the letters, I have a and b, so I'm just going to write ab. Bring down the operation, which is minus. Now I've got 3a times 5c. The numbers, 3 and 5, 3 times 5 is 15. And the letters, I have an a and a c. And that's my answer. So now I'm going to put up 2 problems. Go ahead and give them a shot. Okay, so there are 2 problems. Go ahead and pause the video, write down these questions, and then when you're ready, press play. We'll go over the answers. Alright, so 2v, I'm going to multiply by these terms. So first thing I'm doing is 2v times this 3q. So with the numbers, I've got 2 times 3, that's 6. And I've got the letters v and q, so I just write them. Bring down your operation. Next, I'm going to multiply by that 4b. Well, for the numbers, 2 times 4 is 8. V times b, right there. Now, hopefully by now, looking at how I do these, you see how circling each one of these groups and using the lines helps you out. And you can do that too on your test. Here I've got a negative 4m. Don't forget that negative sign. And I'm going to multiply this by 3n. Well, look at the numbers. Negative 4 times positive 3. Signs are different, so that's negative 12. The letters are m and n, so I write them both. Bring down the operation. Now I've got negative 4m times 6p. Negative 4 times a positive 6. Remember, that's not a negative sign. That was our subtraction that we brought down. So negative 4 times positive 6, that's going to be negative 24. I need this parentheses to separate those. And the letters are m and p. And we're good there. So now I'm going to show you the last version of these. Okay, the last version of these are ones that involve fractions. And you still do it the same way, you just have to simplify a little extra at the end. So now I've got 1/2 times a. So I'm just going to write 1/2 a. I bring down my operation, and now I have 1/2 times 10. So I write down 1/2 times 10. Well, this I can't simplify, it's not going to change, but this I can. So I make this a fraction by putting it over 1, and I have 1/2 a minus, and on top, 1 times 10 is 10, on bottom, 2 times 1 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5, so I'm going to rewrite this as 1/2 a minus, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So let me put one up here for you to try. Okay, so here's another one. Go ahead and pause the video, write it down, and once you have it answered, press play and we'll go over it. Alright, so here I've got 1/3 times q, that's 1/3 q, and over here I've got 1/3 times 12. I make this 12 into a fraction by putting it over 1. I rewrite this, 1/3 q plus 1 times 12 is 12, 3 times 1 is 3, and that reduces to 4. And that's everything, boys and girls. If you can do this, you should be set. Good luck on your test. All right? Study hard.